Hey everyone, how's it going? Welcome back to Let's Play Kingsfield 4: The Ancient City. Today we're going to be turning our attention away from the Proto-Nulando ruins and forging ahead through the gate that we opened up last time. And from there we can open up the door, go ahead, and wade through some chest-high water. No danger of drowning just yet. We'll get to that in due time. But there's a little drop off here that leads into the deep water. But for now, we're just going to move straight ahead up to the stairs and immediately exit the water. This is an area that we'll have to revisit after we get a key item, which we'll actually be getting at the end of this episode. But first things first, we actually need to get the Serrak's key, or Serrak. And before we do any of that, there's a nice little safe spot. This pool is filled with lovely, rejuvenating water that restores both MP and HP, so we're going to empty out our crystal vials and use up the healing water that we had filled them with from the forest spring. And we're going to fill those newly emptied crystal vials up with this restorative golden healing water. Nothing happened. Why did nothing happen? That's a problem. Might just not have been close enough to the water. I don't know. Let me place this yellow guide stone. I have everything nice and color-coded. I have red, which leads back to the dwarf, and I kind of have that associated in my mind mnemonically with, like, red from the fires of the forge. I have blue leading back to the forest. Blue, like the pure water that's running through that wellspring. Green is kind of random. Green just takes me back to a random spot at the bottom of the central tower. And yellow because this is the Golden Pond. Maybe this is just being a little bit finicky. We occasionally get hitboxes like that in the ancient city, so it could also be that I just wasn't looking far enough out into the water, and the game interpreted that as me trying to fill my empty vials up with bits of the stone, like the lip of the stone around the fountain. But we got them nice and filled up now. Saw the confirmation message. Before we head into the next area, we'll save our game, this nice little safe spot. Because the area that we're heading into, like a lot of the second half of the game, is a dangerous one. In my opinion, we've made it past the most tedious and dangerous parts of the game so far. Most of that being in the Widow Queen's Fortress, especially those last two bosses we fought. Some of the bosses we have coming up are not too bad. They're fairly straightforward fights. We'll have one fight in this zone and then one fight coming up once we get Serrak's key. Before we tackle the stairs, we're going to head into here, the treasury for authorized personnel only, for one quick thing. Then we will dip out and revisit the treasury a little bit down the line. So there's a safe spot right over by the skeleton. Oh shit. I might not be... No? Am I wrong? Oh, it's like right in front of the skeleton. Shit. If you're even a little bit off center, you still get skewered. And because we have Muse Amulet on, we can see this. This hidden wall houses the mechanism to turn off the spear traps. But really, all we came in here for the time being, was the key, which I think is the ancient key. It's going to open up a couple of chests later on in the level. And there is more to do down that side passage, but we're going to save that for the return trip. These archers are unfortunately really cool. They have some dope-looking springboard kicks that they do in melee range, but they shoot arrows that are coated in dark and can blind you, so we don't play games with them. We don't take chances. That's by far, like, it might be my second least favorite status ailment. Stun. Stun. Stun is the drizzling shits. See, those enemies, I think they can cast a spell capable of just about one-shotting you. It depends if they line that spell up right before a melee hit. They can reduce you to about 10 HP in a hurry. And it can come on really, really quickly. I hear another one behind me. Am I getting shot from behind? Yeah, I am. Actually, didn't think they could do that over here. Ah, shit. Getting incredibly lucky not getting blinded by these, though. Like, my luck is holding out pretty well. I've taken a couple of arrows that normally I ideally would not be getting hit by, but getting a little bit lucky with them, not getting afflicted with a status ailment. Oh, these are the coolest archers, too. Mansion of the Howling Winds. Yes, please. That is where we want to go. So we want to head up to the mansion, because that is where we will eventually get Serrak's key. This guy, you could see him breathing poison onto that monstrous left hand. So he can either spit poison balls at you, or he can just swing at you with his left, and his left hand can poison you. Let's see if I remember this room right. It should be just an empty room with a couple windows. Oh, no, this is something else. We'll be back for that, I think. There's one thing that I don't want to waste too much time getting to, because we're kind of going to double back through here. And you'll see why. Yeah. I think the durability on my Wave Crasher must be starting to get pretty low. The Wave Crasher is the second most powerful weapon in the game. The second best, I should say. I think as far as raw attack power goes, there are a couple of items that might beat it out, but bang for your buck DPS-wise, I don't need to be going into this room yet. Bang for your buck, the Wave Crasher is substantially better than just about any other weapon in the game, with one exception. And we will be getting that weapon soon. As far as late game weapons go, the Wave Crasher's phenomenal, though. It's Purity, that poison off. The reason that there was no sense in going into that room yet, you could see in the corner there were a pair of greaves shrouded in mist. We can't break that seal yet. This room, though, that window is actually an awesome little facet of level design, because it lets you clearly preview a hidden path that you might not have otherwise ever thought to check for. And now we'll go back down, and we want to go out and find our way to the bridge that leads to that cliffside we saw from the window, which I think is out here. Yeah, okay. Wasn't sure if it was this one or if I was going out to the spider room from here. Okay, so the gusts of wind, which are very nicely denoted. I think I got a good pattern here. I think I made it. Cave Troll's gonna fuck me up, though. I did take a hit from the gust. The gusts of wind can knock you off the bridge, so you want to stick to the left side and do your best to avoid the gusts, and you should be okay, otherwise they can blow you off. If you time it well, though, and you just stick to the left side, you'll be fine. But that drawbridge is what leads you out, or the rope bridge is what leads you out to the cliffside path here. This is what we saw from the window. And this is what I was talking about with a window previewing a hidden path that you might not otherwise think to check for. Because you can drop down to that lower path from the upper path where you get the dragon flower. Perfect. Looks like an armless Hydralisk. Take one little stab. Oh no, you take two. Okay. Not too dangerous otherwise. They have some point blank AoEs. think that might be a full sprue or one of the, what's the other one? The Wise Man's Fruit? It's one of those, I think. So the main thing that you drop down here for is a spell. Holy shit! Wow, that mist, I was underestimating it. God, that got scary fast. Okay, we're okay though. Another Dragon Flower. Dragon Flowers are really nice because on top of giving you a massive amount of MP back, if not a full restore, I can't quite remember, they cure all your status ailments. And since I am starting to run low on dried amphibia and forest roots, the status ailment heals from the Dragon Flowers might actually start to come in handy. Nice big beefy crystal that's going to restore a lot of MP. Restored all of it. And I think the magic that gives us is, I think it's an ice spell. Flash Iceclad. I think it's Iceclad that it gave us. Yeah, so we got, what, 170? That's not bad. I'm so discouraged from using any other spells, though, because I have my Fireball up to level 3 now. And the magic recharge on it's really quick. It doesn't consume a lot of MP, which means I can choose between it and an Earth Heal in a clutch moment really easily. There's so many benefits to Fireball. And it hits like 3 times for, I think, 90 damage a tick. So it's 270 overall. Keeps enemies in hit stun for a while. Like, that level 3 Fireball is just so valuable. And you can eventually, like, if you want to grind the other spells out, you can eventually get them up to level 2 and level 3 as well, but it takes repeated use. And I am not much in the mood for grinding things out. So after running across the rafters up there and getting the mirror shield, you drop right back down to the save point that we started this zone out in. So this is what I meant when... Oh, I want to be careful with this guy. He can do some nasty stuff to you if you aren't careful. This is what I meant when I said that we would wind up doubling back through here anyway. That motherfucker! I got lucky all those times with the arrows, but... that one swing. Still do have a couple of forest roots, and that's not bad. And like 2 or 3 dried amphibia. This is one of the things I bypassed on the first run through of this. There is a ladder somewhere. I think it's past the area with the spider, so we haven't seen yet. Yeah, up here. There should be a ladder at the end of the spider area that leads down to that chest, which... what does that contain? It's a pair of bracers. A pair of really, really decent bracers, which we would probably use if it wasn't for the fact that the Clarity Bracelet, which we got way early on in the game, before the first dungeon even, if it wasn't so good. It's an absolutely staggering MP boost. That I just don't want to go without. There should be... yeah, there's one on the ceiling, one on the ground. Can't quite... my Fireball doesn't reach far enough to pull the one on the ground, so... yeah, we don't want to get caught by the web, if at all possible. Okay, this is fine. I think the other one spat web at me from the other side of the room. So I'm either going to have to deal with being slowed down from the stun, or I'm going to have to waste another one of my status ailment restoratives. Fuck, you know what? There's a merchant where we got the ancient key that I should have hit. Nope, this is getting a little bit close for comfort. Yeah, there's a merchant right there. I'm gonna have to remember to make another trip to the merchant and restock on a couple of things. It's fine. We have time to do that, though. We'll have time to do that off screen, actually. Probably go and repair the wave crasher off screen and maybe do a little bit of shopping. So that stuff is tedious. That being said, even with the wave crasher's durability as low as it is, it's still one of my best weapons that I can possibly equip right now. It's still gonna put in work. Any more dragon flowers? Those things are much appreciated. Nope, but Mew's amulet does reveal that there's a hidden wall here, and this is where the ladder is that leads down to that chest we saw a few minutes ago. Yeah, and indeed, we get the skull bracers. You know what I realized I missed? And it doesn't even matter that much because I still wouldn't replace them for the clarity bracelet. There's a power bracelet that I missed somewhere that just increases your attack power. And even so, I still wouldn't take the clarity bracelet off for it. Like, I can't understate how much MP you get from that thing. Ooh. Almost got me. Playing footsies. Alright, and we come back out to the rope bridge for the last time. This time we're gonna go straight ahead. And wait for a good cycle. So I do not die, because I don't want to have to repeat anything. Dying penalties in Kingsfield, the Ancient City, are much more harsh than the dying penalties in Dark Souls or Demon Souls, which came much later. And long before Miyazaki was using Demon Souls as a vehicle to profess his undying love for Berserk, there was Kingsfield and the Cave Trolls. Ah, don't worry. These are way more tame than the Cave Trolls. The new Berserk anime started, and they're already censoring some stuff, like people getting cut in half. I'm morbidly curious about how the censors are going to handle the Cave Trolls, because holy shit, that gets really rough and intense. Like, we still have a while to go before the anime even gets to that point, but it looks like it's continuing from the 3 CG movies, which cover the Golden Age, and they're skipping or condensing most of the Black Swordsman stuff and moving straight on to the Tower of Conviction. I think the Cave Trolls happen in the middle of the arc after the Tower of Conviction, which is... what was it called? The Millennium Falcon arc? I don't know if this anime is even gonna make it there. I want to say that the first season is only a 13-episode run, which might not even be enough to fully cover the Tower of Conviction unless they skip a lot of stuff. And with how poorly received episode 1 was, it might not last. I wish Berserk could get the JoJo's or the One Punch Man treatment, but something like Berserk, it deserves a budget, but its themes are a lot more mature and the subject matter is a lot heavier, so studios are probably hesitant to give it the budget that it really deserves. Still, I think the second and the third Golden Age movies were alright. They were totally serviceable. The CG wasn't atrocious except in the first movie. It's not the prettiest thing in the world, but man, those 2 movies were serviceable. And that first episode of the new anime was just not. Like the bit with Adolf and his daughter when they're first talking to Guts in one of the... it's one of the ugliest things I've ever seen in an anime. It's fucking abhorrent looking. It's a shame because there are moments where they blend a little bit of hand-drawn and CG really well. Like those couple of shots actually look really good. These skulls are freakish. These 4-eyed skulls he has collected up here. The tone and the atmosphere of the new anime are just pitch perfect, but I don't know. I don't really foresee it getting any better, and it might just wind up getting canceled. Might just meet that early demise. Let's talk to the petrified man kneeling over here in contrition. It's been a while since someone's spoken to me. That's because they think you're a statue. Once I'd learned the fate of our forest children, I couldn't just let it happen. I wanted to save them. I created many things for our people. I sought the ancient knowledge, and what it led me to was the art of creating life. The knowledge of the ancient folk, the dark people, aided my research, and the Geneans were born. First, we've heard that term, I believe, the Geneans. Also, we're getting a bit of a lore dump. The ruins of the dark folk residing in the deepest area of the city was indeed a treasury of knowledge. At the same time, it was a sealed cage of darkness. The king forbade anyone to approach it, but someone broke the seal and darkness flowed out from within. The battle against the dark folk was unavoidable, and still it wages on. It is now pointless to wallow in the demise of our people. The ancient city really takes its time with giving you these kinds of lore dumps, but once they start in on it, it gets pretty exposition heavy. Like we had that from the NPC just now. We have a Serrak store over here. And we had that room with all the inscriptions last time. Hey, more cave trolls. These are actually not really Berserk style cave trolls. Just more generic high fantasy trolls. Gotta watch out though, they can... Oh, hey, you dropped a club. They can do a whole lot of damage with just one swing. They don't swing very quickly though. They also have that attack, which we saw the Xenomorphs using a long time ago, which I believe can cause either stun or paralysis. Man! Yeah, so while they're running away, attacking them from behind doesn't really work that well, because they can do that 180 swing instantly. Kind of a shame, because you can't take advantage of their shitty pathing or AI. Dude. You have to time that swing out after the level 3 fireball, because if you hit them while they're in hit stun from the fireball, your attack will just get eaten and not do anything. They have a little bit of invincibility during that hit stun. So you want to go 1, 2, 3 swing instead of trying to swing while they're still being hit by the ticks of fireball. Yeah, sure, poison's pretty inconsequential at this point. I have to wait for my magic to come back. There we go. We can just purify it off. Once again, the Kingsfield Ancient City soundtrack is something that I could listen to indefinitely on my own time, just put it on a playlist and loop it, but there are times where it really doesn't fit. Like, this is such a mellow, soothing track we have playing right now, and it's super inappropriate. Super inappropriate. Super. Hey, a weapon level up. Is that level 2 for the Wave Crasher or level 3? Either way, it's a good thing. Oh, yeah. Yeah, level 2. So yeah, once you use it enough, this is independent from the weapon upgrades you get at the Dwarf. When you go and you upgrade weapons at the Dwarf, you can choose to raise any of the primary attack attributes, slash, hit, and whatever the third one is, I can't quite, stab. You could choose to raise any of those, but it doesn't raise the actual weapon level. That is an overall stat boost after prolonged use. We don't want to go too far into the room because that will trigger boss fight, which you can kind of... It's kind of telegraphed by this big, ominous, demonic-looking door. What we want to do, though, is use some ranged spells or a bow and arrow or something to that effect to draw out the 2 trolls in here and take them out one at a time. and then fight the boss on his own. We can do that as long as we don't take too many steps into the room. Perfect. That went super well, and we got a level up. Looks like I am a little bit under-leveled. Not too much, though. Not enough that will actually make a substantial difference. Ye who seek darkness's secret, be ye destroyed. So who's saying that? Who's saying that? Oh, hey, Satan. It was you who said that, wasn't it, Satan? What's up, Satan? Oh, shit. That whirlwind from the mall caused blindness. The fuck? I'm pretty sure that could cause either stun or paralysis. Seems to be the MO of shockwave attacks. Won't bother curing the blindness until we're done with the boss, which actually isn't too bad. That attack's a little bit tricky, but it's not the worst thing in the world. It's a pretty straightforward boss fight. Hey, magic power up. Is that a level up, or was that just MP? Oh yeah, Fireball's already a level 3, so I think it's maxed out. Yeah, so that was just a regular MP upgrade. Yeah, I like it when you do that. The ground pound. That's really nice. That attack's fine too. It's easy enough to back out of his range. My wave crasher was repaired. This would be over like 30 seconds ago. It's fine though. Satan drops this key for us. That key is Serrak's key. The thing that we have been waiting to get. We'll use a dragon flower to restore all my MP and cure the blindness. I think one of these poisonous pools in his room might have something inside of it. So, yeah, try to check them all out. So Serrak's key is the final key that we need. If you remember, we have the engineer's key, the priest's key, and the craftsman's key. And those all correspond to keys, including Serrak's. They all correspond to chests back in the forest. And those 4 chests back in the forest corresponding to the 4 keys, of which we now have the complete set, give us 4 key items that we need to progress forward. And for the most part, you would just have to intuit that is what you need to do to progress, because I don't think anyone really explicitly tells you or even hints to you that that's what you need to do. You just come across these 4 locked chests, the craftsmen, Serrak's, engineers, and priests, and it just has to seem fairly obvious to you. I don't think there's anything back here. Weird. It just has to seem fairly obvious to you that you need to gather those keys. Plus, the order that you actually go through the levels is pretty linear for the most part, so most of those keys you'll get naturally, so you won't run into too much of a roadblock. There are a couple of things that you can get really stuck on. The Ring of Wisdom is something that we actually bypassed getting so far that we will go back for by the end of this area. It's back where we got the ancient key a little while ago that I said we would be back for. Oh, that is the icon of water. Know how we got the icon of ice earlier and the icon of fire? Well, we've been getting some hints that the water here is pretty important. So, icon of water, flooded area that we haven't gone through yet, 2 and 2, is fish. The Ring of Wisdom. You know how there have been a couple of occasions so far where we've come across doors or NPCs telling us we need kingly wisdom or proof of being a king That's the Ring of Wisdom that they're referring to. And you have to solve kind of an obscure puzzle in a side area in order to get that ring. And it's not entirely clear that that ring is the proof of kingly wisdom. So my first time through the ancient city early in the year, was it around January? Yeah, my first time through the ancient city, that took me a little while to figure out. Now we're gonna go talk to this NPC again. During the battle against the Darkfolk, the Geneans were created for the protection of our city. They went insane, however. It's probably the result of upsetting the rule of nature. I turned myself to stone as punishment. The rule of nature, I believe, was mentioned when we did the whole thing with the icon of ice. Geneans lies in the water. Foul water is a source of falseness and lies. The secret of reviving the Geneans lies in the water. What I sought was the path to destruction. I am Serrak Resmak. I have ceased to live. So this is Serrak. Very, very important NPC. So we now have Serrak's key, along with the other three. Trying to think of the order that I want to do this in. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to warp back to the forest before I go through all of this. I'm going to warp back to the forest. And I am going to get all of the key items I need out of the chests, then come back. Inside the engineer's chest is some sort of black eye. There's another one inside of the priest's chest. In the craftsman's chest, there is a third black eye, and in Serrak's chest, there is a fourth and final black eye. We need all four of those for a puzzle coming up. And while we're here, we refill our MP and talk to this NPC. How did you get that? The sword once belonged to the king of the forest. The only thing that can harness the light in the forest is that sword. That is proof of a kingly being. This is also misleading, because the sword is not actually what you need for that. It's lost much of its rightful shine. The forest must be damaged to a point where it can't produce enough light for the sword to reflect it. Kind of gives you a Shadow of the Colossus vibe. If you can restore light to the sword, it will aid you in your quest. This is the sword that we picked up from the knight last time. May light shine upon you and the sword. Septiego. That's the light that we got, the sword that we got from him. So next time we'll go ahead and get the Ring of Wisdom, and then we have a lot of warping around to do. So that's gonna do it for now. Thanks for watching, everyone. Take it easy. Have a good one.